It's Friday here on Transtastic, and our wonderful guest this week, Steven, chose the topic of shame. So first off, I want to say that I make a distinction in my mind between shame and embarrassment. I think they're two different things. I think sometimes they go hand in hand, but aside from that, they are separate. I had to think about things that caused me shame for quite a few days, because I'm just thinking, I felt a lot of embarrassment throughout my life, but I've never felt shame over anything. I've never felt shame over my sexuality. I've never felt shame over my gender identity. I haven't felt a lot of shame. I felt a lot of embarrassment. Shame, I feel, is something you feel when you've done something wrong, something negative, something bad, whereas embarrassment is just like you fart in class and somebody points it out. Like, that's embarrassment. It's nothing wrong. Like, you farted. Everyone farts. Like, you couldn't hold it in. Like, that's cool. Nothing wrong. Whereas if you punch a puppy and you feel bad, you're feeling shame, not embarrassment. Like, that is shame. So I've never felt shame towards any part of my identity at all. Only embarrassment, really. What I have felt shame towards is actually my body. I've always been on the overweight side, and I've always felt shameful of that, because growing up I was surrounded by, like, fit people, thin people, and I was made fun of for being like chubby and overweight, and I felt a lot of shame for that, because who would be mean to somebody unless they were a bad person? And even then, so I felt like I was bad, like my body was wrong. It wasn't the norm of society, and the shame wasn't from just like schoolgirls, it was from like my own parents. And the way my parents talk to me now, like, they need to give me approval. They see me, like, they do the whole scan toe to head. Like, my mother does this every time she sees me, and that's caused me to feel shame about my body, because, like, I'm just like, why would she do that unless there's something wrong with it? And it kind of makes me want to cry a little bit, because no one should feel shame over their body and should be viewed that way from their own parents. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I'm crying. So I do feel a lot of shame towards my body. Not in a dysphoric way, just that there's something wrong with it. Always something wrong with it, and it hurts the fact that most of it has come from my parents. I empathize, and I sympathize with anybody else who has parents who are very, how do I say this, body policing, who feel that they need to give you their opinion and that you need their opinion of your body. I'm so sorry if you have to deal with that. No one should have to deal with that. So for most of my life, as I already said, I felt shame over my body, and I still do. Another thing that I feel shameful towards, only a few times in my life, it's when I would make my older sister cry. This has only happened maybe 3 or 4 times out of our entire life, but out of our entire life we generally have not gotten along. And my sister would usually be the one to make me cry, but there have been a couple times where I have made her cry over physical pain, not emotional, just physical pain that I inflicted upon her. And as I said, it's usually her making me cry, but when I made my sister cry those few times, I felt really bad. I'm just like, I shouldn't make a family member cry. That's not right. Why am I doing this? Vicious cycle. And then for a good portion of my early life, I did feel shame towards sex stuff. I felt a lot of shame from that. I can only think of one story to explain it, and it was when I was like 7 or 8, and I was in Europe, in Poland, visiting family, and I came across this magazine, and there was like one article on like sex positions, and I stole this magazine because I was intrigued by it, but like I hid it, and my mom would be asking me like, what are you looking at? I'm just like, oh, nothing. Just playing with my toys, because I slept in a bunk bed, and I kept this magazine like underneath all my toys because my toys were up on my bunk bed. And I felt a lot of shame towards that, and I don't think I really became liberated of that shame until college, and I was surrounded by more sexually liberated people, not necessarily sexually active, just more like educated on it. And I think that's why I'm attracted to people who are more sexual. Like, they're comfortable in their own sexuality, and they're comfortable talking about sex, and they're educated on it. The only time I feel shame is really just like over my body weight, making family members or just making people in general cry. not for good reasons. I feel a lot of shame towards inflicting pain on other people, like emotional pain more than anything, to be frank. And yeah, sorry about the little emotional bit in there. Kind of unexpectedly hit me. I really wasn't expecting that to happen. That's all I have to say about shame this week. I will see you all next week. Bye.